I spent 34 years as a secondary school teacher, and I say that not as a proud credential opener, but because it is directly relevant to why I am sitting here talking to you about a lung support supplement. 34 years in classrooms, old buildings with chalk dust I could taste by mid-morning, staff rooms where, for the first 20 of those years, half my colleagues smoked during their breaks and the windows were rarely open, art supply fumes, science lab chemicals, the particular kind of recycled air that exists in any large institutional building that was built before anyone thought much about ventilation. I retired 4 years ago, and within about 6 months of leaving, I became aware of something I hadn't noticed while I was still working. My breathing was not right. Not dramatically wrong, I wasn't struggling to walk to the car. But there was a persistent mucousy feeling in my chest every morning, a slight wheeze when I climbed stairs, a fatigue after moderate exertion that felt disproportionate to what I was actually doing. Pulmo Balance is a natural daily lung support supplement in capsule form, formulated specifically to promote respiratory health in adults dealing with accumulated airway stress, chronic mucus, inflammation-driven breathing difficulties, or the general decline in respiratory vitality that comes with age and environmental exposure. It is not a medication. It does not treat diagnosed respiratory disease. What it is designed to do is support the body's own respiratory processes, helping the lungs clear themselves more effectively, reducing the inflammation that constricts airways, protecting lung tissue from oxidative damage, and improving the efficiency with which each breath delivers oxygen to the bloodstream. It is manufactured in the United States in an FDA-registered, GMP-certified facility. No artificial additives, no synthetic stimulants, no GMOs. Third-party tested for purity and label accuracy. It is designed for consistent daily use, and the brand recommends at least 60 to 90 days of use to evaluate its full effect, which I will come back to when we discuss the pricing and guarantee. Here is every key ingredient in the Pulmo Balance formula, and the specific role each one plays. 1. Mullein leaf extract, the cornerstone of the formula and the ingredient I was most familiar with from my initial research. Mullein is a plant with a centuries-long history in traditional respiratory medicine across Europe and the Americas. Its primary action is as a natural expectorant. Atsotiba. It helps to loosen and mobilize mucus that has settled in the bronchial passages, making it easier for the airways to clear themselves. It also has mild anti-inflammatory properties that soothe the irritated airway lining. For someone like me, with years of accumulated airway deposits from chalk, dust, and passive smoke exposure, a well-dosed expectorant was the most important thing I was looking for in any formula. Mullein earns that role here. 2. N-acetylcysteine, NAC. NAC is a precursor to glutathione, the body's primary intracellular antioxidant, and it has a specific clinically documented mechanism in the lungs. It breaks down the molecular bonds that hold mucus together, rendering it significantly thinner and far easier to clear from the airways. This is not a niche herbal claim. Sokonoi. NAC is used in hospital respiratory wards as a mucolytic agent for patients with serious lung conditions. Its presence in Pulmo Balance represents one of the clearest signals that the formula was built with real clinical logic. It works synergistically with Mullein. Mullein mobilizes mucus. NAC makes it thin enough to move. 3. Quercetin. A naturally occurring plant flavonoid found in foods like onions, apples, and capers. Quercetin's key respiratory mechanism is its ability to stabilize mast cells, the immune cells that release histamine when triggered by allergens, dust, pollutants, or chemical irritants. Mast cell degranulation is what drives the itching, sneezing, constriction, and inflammatory cascade behind airway reactivity. For anyone whose respiratory difficulties are aggravated by environmental triggers, which described my classroom years almost perfectly, quercetin is the ingredient directly addressing that hypersensitivity mechanism. It does not sedate the immune system, it helps calibrate it. 4. Bromelain. An enzyme derived from pineapple stem, bromelain breaks down inflammatory proteins in the bronchial tissue, the same proteins that contribute both to mucus thickness and to the swelling that narrows the airways and makes each breath feel slightly more effortful than it should. It works alongside NAC as a second mucolytic mechanism, and alongside quercetin as an additional anti-inflammatory agent. The three together create a layered approach to airway clearance that is considerably more effective than any single ingredient in isolation. 5. Vitamin C, included here not as a token addition, but for a specific reason. Vitamin C is a primary antioxidant in lung tissue. The lungs are uniquely exposed to oxidative stress because they are in constant contact with the external environment. Every breath brings in not just oxygen, but whatever else is in the air around you. Over decades, that oxidative load accumulates in the tissue. Vitamin C helps neutralize the free radicals responsible for that damage and supports the repair of the mucosal lining that protects the airways. 6. Vitamin D3, the final ingredient, and the one I was most personally persuaded by when I did my research. Multiple peer-reviewed studies have now linked vitamin D3 deficiency specifically to increase susceptibility to respiratory infections, impaired bronchial muscle tone, and reduced mucosal immune function. Given how prevalent D3 deficiency is in adults over 50, particularly those who spend significant time indoors, which teachers often do, 1. This is not a box-ticking inclusion. It is addressing a real and common nutritional gap that has a direct, measurable impact on respiratory health. Here is the honest assessment. I made this review for people who want a real picture, not a sales brochure. Pulmo Balance is sold exclusively through the official website. There are 3 bundle options. 1 bottle, $69, a 30-day supply. The starting point and the highest cost per bottle, 3 bottles, $177 total, which brings the cost to $59 per bottle. This is the practical evaluation package, giving you a 90-day window, which is the minimum the brand recommends for assessing the full effect of consistent use. You save $30 over 3 separate single-bottle purchases. 6 bottles, $294 total, at $49 per bottle. Free shipping included, the lowest per-unit cost and the package for anyone planning a sustained commitment to respiratory support over 6 months, a saving of $120 over single-bottle pricing. My straightforward recommendation, start with the 3-bottle bundle. It gives you a genuine evaluation window at a meaningful saving, and it aligns with the 90-day timeframe the brand considers meaningful for results. If you order a single bottle and stop at 30 days having only just started to see early changes, you are not giving the formula a fair assessment. Pulmo Balance is backed by a 60-day money-back guarantee, 60 days of daily use. And if you don't notice any meaningful improvement in how your chest feels, how easily you clear mucus in the morning, or how your breathing holds up with moderate activity, you contact their customer support team and you receive a full refund. No complicated return requirements, no partial refund conditions, no store credit substitution, a genuine refund. For a supplement asking you to commit 2 to 3 months for full results, a 60-day guarantee gives you a meaningful portion of that window to evaluate early progress without financial exposure. It was a significant factor in my decision to try it, and I think it should be a significant factor in yours. As always, verify the current guarantee terms on the official website at checkout. Policies can be updated. And check with your GP before starting, especially if you are managing any existing respiratory condition or taking prescription medication. So, did it help? After about 5 weeks of consistent daily use, yes. The morning chest heaviness that had become my new normal started to ease. The mucus that used to take 20 minutes of coughing to shift in the morning was moving more easily and more quickly. And the mild exertional wheeze, the one I'd been writing off as just getting older, became noticeably less present on my afternoon walks. I am not going to tell you Pulmo Balance reversed 34 years of classroom air in 10 weeks. That would be dishonest. But it measurably improved the day-to-day quality of my breathing in a way that nothing else I had tried had managed. And it did it without side effects and with a formula that, when I looked at the ingredients, made real scientific sense to me. If you are over 50 and your breathing has quietly become more effortful over the years, whether through occupational exposure, environmental factors, or simply the accumulated effect of time, this is a formula worth your consideration. The link to the official Pulmo Balance website is pinned in the comments. That is the only authorized source for the genuine product. If this review gave you something useful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Supplement Truth Compass. I publish honest, thoroughly researched breakdowns every week for adults who want real information before spending their money on their health. Thank you for watching. Breathe easy, and I will see you in the next one.